Hello everyone, I am Suguna, Assistant Professor from Computer Science and Engineering Department in SNS College of Technology. In this video, we are going to learn Node.js and Express.js, which together form the backend foundation of full stack web development and also the MERN Stack. Just like in my previous session, instead of jumping directly into a theory, I will explain you today's topic by using a simple real world story that makes us the backend concept very easy to understand. So let's begin. So here the story is the smart kitchen. So what is the smart kitchen? Let me ask you one question before that. Who makes the entire workflow active in a restaurant? Think about the world class restaurant. You don't want to walk into the kitchen and cook your own food. You place your order with the waiter. So in our story, the waiter is Node.js, the head chef is Express.js, the customer is the front end, the pantry is the database. The chef does not eat the food and he does not grow vegetables. He simply manages the kitchen, right? Follows recipes and ensure the right dishes will reach us the right table on time. This is exactly what Node.js and Express.js do in a web application. So let me define a problem statement for empathizing that. Now imagine a kitchen without waiter and without a head chef. What happens? Orders will lose. Customers wait endlessly. No one knows what's happening. This is exactly what happens when there is no back end. User clicks buttons, submit forms and send requests, but no one receives them, no one will process them, no one will send a response back. This creates a chaos and a very poor user experience. So let me define this. So what is this real problem is? The problem is the absence of reliable brain. We need a system to receive requests, a system to process the logic, a system to communicate with the database, a system to respond back to the user. So here the brain is built using the Node.js and Express.js. So let me move on to ideate part for thinking the possible solution. So what the possible solution is? We could use Spark, Fast API with Python and Express.js. So among these, the most efficient solution for the JavaScript based application is Express.js. Why? Because it's a lightweight, it is fast, it works perfectly with Node.js, it integrates easily with MongoDB. That is why Express.js is called as the Express Chef. So let me define the prototype workflow. So when a user performs an action on the front end, a request is sent. Node.js will receive the request. Express.js process the route. So the database is accessed whenever it is required, and again the response is been sent back to the user. So this entire process happens in milliseconds and a fraction of seconds. So the users see only the fast response, correct data, smooth experience, right? So this is a prototype workflow of this Express.js for this restaurant application. Now let me explain you the prototype workflow demo. So now let us understand the demo code which is shown here. So here we import the Express. We create an application. We define a route which is get food item. And when a request comes, the ordered item is extracted. A simulated database call is made. So a JSON, which is JavaScript object notation, will response is sent back. So this clearly shows how Express handles the routing, how backend logic works, and how the response is sent to the front end. And this is the Node.js versus Express.js. Now let's clearly understand difference between both Node.js and Express.js. So Node.js is a runtime environment. It executes the JavaScript on server and it acts like a waiter. Whereas Express.js is a framework built on Node.js. It handles routing and logic. It acts like the head chef. Node.js will bring power, whereas Express.js will bring the structure for an application. So together they create a strong backend database. So this is the difference between the Node.js and Express.js, but together it will provide a stronger backend database. So now we will just look on to this. So this is the diagram for displaying the Node.js and Express.js. Now when we move on to our testing part, we check, does the waiter receive the order correctly? Does the chef return the correct dish? And what happens if an item is not available in the pantry? If an item is unavailable, the chef sends a 404 error, which means it's the out of stock. The user is informed clearly that this avoids confusion and improves the reliability of the application. So let me summarize this session. So Node.js and Express.js both will act as a backend brain. They both handle the request and response by using HTTP, which is the hypertext transfer protocol, and they will connect the front end and also the database. They ensure the smooth workflow. Now a small hands-on activity I will be given to you to build an order track system. So in this order track system, what you have to do is you have to create a route which is check pantry or ingredient. So if the ingredient is pizza, then you have to return available. Otherwise you have to return out of stock. Otherwise you have to return as out of stock. So just think about this question. If the database is offline, can Express.js will still serve data? So you have to just think. So let me give you a clue. The answer is the Express.js can respond even though if the database is in offline, but we cannot provide the real world data without the database. So just you understand the concept of Node.js and React.js and try to create an order track system. So that brings us to the end of the session today on Node.js and Express.js. I think you hope clearly understand both the concepts and about the stronger back end for the full stack development, right? So thank you for watching. Happy learning and see you on the next video.